Hey guys, I am just gonna do a quick video. Okay, first I'm gonna say I got a new camera for Christmas, so I haven't quite figured out how to position it or anything like that, so please forgive me. I also bought a microphone to go with it, which I think I need some kind of cord to, I don't know, make it work. Anyway, my video today is just going to be about what nonfiction books I'm planning on reading in the first quarter to help me grow as a writer and as working through my self-publishing as a business, and just basically to pursue goals that I have. I actually read an entire book yesterday that I didn't bring upstairs with me, but I will show you that book. I did save it. Sorry, I should have had this on here and ready, but I did want to recommend this book because it's actually really good. Somebody else recommended it to me. It is this Die Empty by Todd Henry. If you can see that, it's not focusing for some reason. There we go. So yeah, I highly recommend that. I read that yesterday. It was very easy reading, and I read it throughout the course of the afternoon. Anyway, so I'm just gonna jump right into it, which books I have picked out. So the first book I am planning on reading this quarter, the first nonfiction book, is this, The Empowered Empath. It's a very thin book, so this should be a pretty quick read, and yeah, I could probably read this in an hour or two. And I just thought it would be a good idea because I do consider myself an empath, and I thought it would be a great way just to learn more about it other than what I've read online and in other books. I've never read an entire book completely devoted to that idea, so I think this will be a good one. This is by an author by the name of Judy Dyer, and yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else to say about it, and I don't really have a lot to say about the books in general. I should point out that the whole reason I decided to actually sit down and read some nonfiction books is with intention is because last year I only read like a few nonfiction books, and I really do think that is one way. It's funny because that book that I read yesterday, The Die Empty, that's actually one of the things he talked about when you're pursuing goals, that he mentioned these 3 M's: mapping, making, and meshing. And mapping is basically, to me, planning. Making is the doing part, the action, and then meshing is the learning and education and growing. And I feel like that, well, I feel like that part I've kind of like fallen off while I'm trying to do. I have all these things that I'm doing right now, and I feel like that piece has kind of fallen off for a bit, and I feel like I need to better incorporate those 3 things. And it seems like I'm able to do 2 of them at one time, but I'm not doing very well at all 3 at the same time, and I definitely think that's the key to push past and actually achieve some of my goals. Anyway, so I grabbed 3 books that are about like the business end of things or taxes, because I do need to start learning about that. I created an LLC publishing company because 1, I am a self-published author now, and 2, I am thinking in the future I might offer some services like formatting books for other people, or I don't know, maybe some collaborative publishing efforts. I don't know, that's just like long term, and I don't really want to go into any detail about it because I really don't know. It's just an idea in the back of my head, so I really haven't explored it, thought about it, or anything like that. So anyway, this is the first book. This is the Home-Based Business Guide to Write Off Almost Anything. This is just how to write off some things on taxes. This is by a guy named Doug Collins. This is a pretty thin book. Quick flip through tells me I could read this in probably an hour. And I don't even know how, you know, accurate or legitimate this is, but I do know that it will give me an idea of things I can look up and research on my own. I also grabbed this guide to running a single member LLC, which is what I created. It's also a sole proprietorship according to the IRS, and I just wanted to learn more about that. I find that whole realm of like business terminology to be extremely confusing, So, and then more long term, I might not finish this book this quarter because it is like a thicker one, and also it is just a more long-term book. Tax-free wealth. This is just talking about building wealth, and it does not really pertain directly to what I'm doing now, but I think it's going to help me build a foundation and basis and think of some other ideas. So I do want to at least start reading that this quarter. This book I'm just going to throw in here randomly. So I'm actually reading this book for a number of purposes. One, just to purely educate myself. Two, because I teach sociology as an adjunct instructor, and I feel like it could be a very important book for me to read. And three, because I do think it could help me be a better writer, just in general, by being more, I don't know, eye-opened, I don't know. So I have this Lies My Teacher Told Me, and this is just about how your history book screwed up. It's by a guy named James Lowen, and this is a really thick book, but the end is like all reference where, you know, where he got his information, and it's broken into chapters. I'm probably not going to finish this in the first quarter, of course, but I would like to at least start this because I've had this book for almost a year, I think, and I haven't even, I've read like the first couple pages, and it's actually written in a very interesting way. So I do really want to read it. And then I have two books specific to writing. This one's How to Market a Book. So this is by Joanna Penn, who's pretty well known, like self-publishing author. She writes other books about self-publishing and whatnot. So she's also a writer under a pen name. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. I haven't quite figured out the, there we go. I haven't quite figured out how to get this thing to focus. Yeah, I think I need to take a class or something on how to use this camera. I got the Canon G7X, or whatever. But this is literally the first time. I did like a couple practice videos just trying to see what the positioning would be. This is the first time I'm actually sitting down and recording a actual video. So the next book I got about writing is by Cam Weiland, which a lot of people are probably very familiar with her if you are a writer of any kind, because she has several books about writing. This one is Structuring Your Novel. I do think I need to work on my craft a lot, and it is one area where when it comes to education, I struggle to read a lot of books because I have a hard time linking my own works to the methodology. I'm not really sure why, but I definitely need to read and do more work on that. For me, when I had my first book edited, it was eye-opening. They did not pull my book apart. I think it was actually a fairly clean first draft for a beginning writer. By beginning writer, I mean I've been writing my whole life, but I've never tried to publish or have anybody edit anything. So, but I did realize some things, like I head jump a lot. I don't stay in the same narrative voice like I should. So I am trying to correct that in my next book that I'm writing, but also I just really need to continue learning more about, you know, writing good books because I want to keep improving. So then I got two books, both by the same author, Danielle Laporte. These were recommended to me by Sarah Cannon, who is an extremely successful independent author. She has two YouTube channels. You can easily find her. One's called Heart Breathings, and the other one is Sarah Cannon. One is based on her fiction fans, and the other one is for educating self-published authors or just educating writers in general. So she recommended these two books to me. Well, she didn't recommend these books specifically. I think she just said anything by Danielle Laporte. But when I went through, these are the two that I wanted to read. I actually had this one as an ebook for a while, but then I decided to buy the paper book because I don't know, I find like ebooks, especially if it's nonfiction and it's not going to be a really quick read through, I really need the actual paper book. The first one is this, The Desire Map, and I already started reading this and I am kind of loving where it's going and the author's mindset. The author's mindset is kind of talking about when you're setting goals to base them on how you want to feel, rather than just like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. It's like, how do I want to feel and what things do I need to do to feel that way. So I really like that. I started reading it already, and actually I noticed my bookmark fell out. I don't know what page I was on, but. And then the other book I grabbed of hers was this Fire Starter Sessions. This is a soul form practical guide to creating success on your own terms. Both of these books seem very thick, but they're not. They're written in like an interesting format. So there's like it's a much shorter book than it appears initially. I think to keep it interesting. So in any case, I'm really excited to start reading those. That's it. That's the end of the stack. I had 2 other books. One is the one I read yesterday. And then the other one was about teaching sociology, which I had read before. I was going to reread it this quarter, but I went through yesterday and skimmed pretty much the entire book. And it does not have what I am looking to kind of improve on. I am an adjunct instructor in sociology, which I've mentioned multiple times in this channel. And I'm always trying to improve how I teach, how the material is presented. I teach solely online courses, so that can be quite a struggle in and of itself, but I read several books about it, and actually right now what I'm trying to do is figure out how to engage students more with their written assignment. They have to write a paper every semester. Sorry, I forgot to bring a drink upstairs. Okay. So yeah, let me just also update you on this. I decided to set up a space to record upstairs. I set up this little desk, and I don't know, we'll see how it goes. So I think that's it. I need to get busy on reading, and thanks for watching.